20 players from 9 different clubs. Only one will be crowned the world's best. No Megan Rapinoe, no Ada Hegerberg. The competition is wide open. So who will win the Women's Ballon d'Or? Hello there, I'm Sam Ashu and welcome to Football Now from Doha. In our last episode, we looked at the Men's Ballon d'Or. This week, it's time to look ahead to the women's competition. But before we do, here's a couple of things you may not know. It's also known as the Ballon d'Or Féminin. The competition, though, is only 3 years old, although no winner last year due to COVID-19 restrictions. The first ever player to pick up the award was this lady, Ada Hegerberg, back in 2018. The Norway striker capping off a fine season by scoring in Lyon's Champions League final win over Wolfsburg. USA striker Megan Rapinoe won the competition a year later, having led her country to the World Cup title. But these two aren't being considered this year. As for this year, just 6 of those nominated for the 2019 award are up again this time around.
I think, like with the men's award, there is no higher individual accolade. It's the one you want to win because it speaks to your performances more than that. It speaks to you've been a successful component for your team as well. You've been a core reason for why your team has gotten over the line with regards to silverware. And I think when you look at how women's football has really just been illuminated in terms of not just the talent, but also the sponsorships coming into the game, the broadcasting rights. When you see everything aligning like that, I think it just makes sense for the Ballon d'Or to have a women's category.
These are the candidates in full then. We'll analyse the favourites later on, but in the meantime, other names to look out for on the list include arguably the best goalkeeper in the world right now, Christiane Endler, the world's greatest ever international goalscorer, Christine Sinclair. New entries include Jessie Fleming, Samantha Mewis, Sandra Panos and Ellen White. Meanwhile, Lyon captain Wendy Reynard and former WSL Player of the Year, Fran Kirby are there too.
Fran Kirby's a player that I play with a lot. England, I think a lot of people will have her as a favourite. Again, I know Chelsea didn't win the Champions League, but had a pretty special season last year. So I know a number of the Chelsea girls have been nominated. And yeah, they'll stand in with a good chance. Obviously, Ellen White was nominated off the back of scoring so many goals at the Olympics and doing well there. So, I mean, for me, I would like those two to obviously do pretty well in the standings, being that they're both English.
So let me just remind you how the voting works then. It's a 20-woman shortlist that's put together by sports publication France Football. Once that's done, journalists from all over the world vote based on 3 things, as it is with the men's award. It includes individual and collective performances, i.e. winners during the year, player class, i.e. talent and fair play, and overall judgment of the player's career. The top-ranking player from each journalist's selection will then receive 6 points, with the second-ranking player earning 4, then 3, 2, down to 1. Time to look at some of the favourites then, and we'll start with Barcelona's Alexia Putellas. Incredibly, the Spaniard has 32 goals and 21 assists from midfield. And having won the Primera Iberdrola, Copa de la Reina and the Women's Champions League all in the same season, it is no surprise that she's one of the standout candidates this year. Now, you might think that Putellas' 32 goals would be enough to win the Spanish Golden Boot. Nope, that went to this woman. Jennifer Hermoso, a staggering 35 strikes means she's Europe's leading striker. Like her Barcelona teammate, the trophy treble sees her as one of the Ballon d'Or favourites. Staying with the Barcelona theme, an injury-ravaged campaign halted Lieke Martens' 2020, but this year has been far more successful. 25 goals and 17 assists is an impressive tally, isn't it? But her form for the Netherlands drew plenty of praise, having found the net 4 times at the Summer Olympics. Chelsea's Sam Kerr also has 32 goals, not quite as many assists, but the forward has had a fine season, playing a big part in the club's Women's Super League and Continental Cup win. And finally, Khadidiatou Diani, 8 goals and 4 assists, and she played a major part in PSG winning the Division 1 Féminin. England defender Lucy Bronze was a runner-up in the 2019 Ballon d'Or. Here's her take on this year's candidates.
The only thing with women's football is the fact that there's not so many games broadcasted, so a lot of the shortlists in general tend to be from players who Champions League final or whatever the kind of national team tournaments of the Olympics this year final. So there's kind of a mixture of players because of that, and obviously a lot of Barcelona players with their exceptional season that they had last year. So I think for me it's probably going to go to one of those girls. I think Alexia is kind of the standout one, having already won the UEFA Player of the Year, captain of Barcelona, and the history that they made last season. I think a lot of people have eyeing her up as the favourite.
So those are your Ballon d'Or Féminin candidates for 2021. But that is it for this week's show. We want to know what you think at home. Who will win this year's competition? Do get in touch with us using the hashtag #FootballNowBallonD'Or. Our men's preview is available now on Euronews.com. We'll see you next time for more Football Now.